Hello, hello. My name is Jim Hughes. I'm a certified functional strength coach, level 2 here at Ethos Athletics. Today, we're going to be going over, for the next 10 minutes, some great mobility drills you can do for either a warm-up or preparing for sport, or even just getting out of bed and getting ready to move during the day. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going over our 4 highest payoffs for our mobility, whether it's our ankles, our hips, our thoracic spine, and our shoulders. Those are our 4 major mobile sections of the body. Again, ankles, hips, thoracic spine, middle of the body here, and our shoulders. If you are a rotational athlete, a lot of that mobility is necessary, especially in the hips and the thoracic spine, whether it's tennis, whether it's golf, whether it's swimming, whether it's pitching. If you're someone if you throw a ball for your sport, lacrosse, anything like that, if you're involved in rotational force production, you have to make sure your body can get there. Now, usually what we do is we would go over some foam rolling and some stretching beforehand, but we're going to keep this nice and brief, and this is a low intensity activities, so these are things you can do on your own that will, you don't necessarily need to foam roll and stretch, but we're going to be looking to keep intensity today down to about like a 4, maybe 5 out of 10. We don't want to be grinding through this. This is something just to give ourselves a nice passive, nice controlled stretch here, controlled mobility. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to be working on our ankles. I want us to be barefoot. We don't want our shoe to handle the stability factor until it can't. We want to make sure the foot is taking all the responsibility. So we're going to be working on some light movement here in the ankle. What we're going to do first, sorry for my gross feet here, we're going to grab the floor with our toes. We're going to take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, I'm just going to simulate a roll. I'm just going to roll my ankle out to the outside. Now, if you're someone who has more of a flatter foot, what we might want to do is squeeze the foot there, okay? Squeezing and coming through. Now we're just rocking this in and out. You can see there's not a lot of motion going on in my hip or my knee. Everything is focused to my ankle. We're just going to do 10 light in and outs here. Now again, if you're someone who's, say, going to be out on the golf course, this is going to be a great warm-up you can do just standing. You won't really be able to need to do too much with regard to getting on the ground or anything. You can do this. This takes maybe 5 minutes. Once you hit those 10, we're going to turn to the side here. I'm just going to turn so you can see. I'm putting the top of my foot into the floor. I'm going to push down and drive forward at the same time. So I'm going to feeling a stretch in the top of my foot. I'm just going to do 10 here. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Again, just getting a nice light stretch on the top of the foot there. Now, staying on the ankle. I know it's going to be a lot of stuff. This is just a little bonus. We're going to again grab the floor with our toes. We're going to take our knee here. We're just going to draw light little circles. The reason we're doing this is just to really lubricate all the joint, really attack all the surface of the ankle, and again, to feel how the foot reacts with different angles too. We really want to get that foot nice and active, especially if we want a nice stable and mobile ankle, if we want something that's able to control its ranges. So again, 5 in one direction, let's go 5 in the other. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to do everything we just did on the other side. So that means, again, planting the foot into the floor, grabbing the floor with your toes, deep breath in, nice and controlled, rolling to the outside. Again, we're not moving with the knee, okay? It's just the ankle rolling to the outside. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Planting that foot into the floor. 1, again, driving down and pulling forward. Once you get those 10 in, take a little breath. You can grab the floor with the toes. Deep breath in. 5 little circles. And really, again, feel how your foot engages here. 5, 6. Go to the other side. I know I went one extra. Now, if you're doing this out on the course or out on the field you're about to play on, you know, if we have to have shoes on or we have to put the feet on, I'm not going to be mad about it, but really try and focus on doing it barefoot. It's really going to help with allowing the foot to take full control of the movement. But now that we moved and we hit all of our ankles there, we should be feeling relatively, you know, loose but controlled there. We're going to move to our hips, okay? This is one where we're going to stand up nice and tall, okay? If you have an implement to hold yourself up, you can, or a wall, you can. We're going to be up nice and tall. Now, if you need a regression for this, I will show regressions in a moment, but this is where we are right now. Again, we are going to stand nice and tall. Again, if we have our implement, we can put it into the ground for balance. We're going to drive our knee up. We want to take a deep breath in as we breathe in. We're going to squeeze our hamstrings and our butt. We're going to squeeze our heel back, and then we're going to pick that foot up, drive that knee up, bring it back to center, almost like we're stepping over a dirty pile of laundry that we've been neglecting due to all this quarantining we've been doing, or stepping over just a big fence. I guess that's more evergreen. But again, we are up tall. We're just going to do 10 total, okay? So up, squeeze, 2, 3. And try and have the only thing that is moving be that hip. Stay nice and stiff. 10. Okay, nice and easy there. Again, might be a little difficult. Just because it's mobility doesn't mean it shouldn't be difficult. Okay? Doesn't mean it's easy, I should say. Mobility is sometimes the hardest thing to work on. So again, we are nice and tall here. Deep breath in. We are up. We're going to squeeze back. Poking over the top. Squeeze back. Poking over. Squeeze back. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Last 3. 8. 9. Last one. 10. Now, I'm going to give you one more bonus exercise for the hips here. This is something we're going to go for. That is sorry. We're going to be on the floor. Okay. This is why it's bonus. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you have something like a towel, you can grab a towel. Or I'm going to be using a band here. What we're going to do. This is my favorite hip mobility activity. It is an active straight leg raise. What this is going to do is to help give us a nice hamstring stretch and help us disassociate our hip joints, okay? We want to be able to move them independently, especially if we're reaching down into that cup after we sunk a 20-footer, okay? We want to be able to reach in, grab that ball out of the hole without throwing our back out. Okay, so I'm going to start with a nice straight leg. The reason I have the towel or the band is if my leg is bent at the top and I need to have it here to be straight, it's here to support us, okay? So we are up nice and tall. Our back is flat into the floor. I'm going to take a deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale on the way down. And we're just going to do 5 of these on each side. You could do 10. You can do 8. I wouldn't recommend going above 10 or 12. We don't need to do 10,000 of these. But again, it'll be just a nice deep inhale. Keep everything nice and straight. Exhale. 2. 3. Keeping that back flat to the floor. Rib cage locked in. 5. And now we can switch sides. We're just going to grab that other foot, get that nice hamstring stretch. Leg is extended. Deep breath in. 5. All right. Now, we made it through our hips and our ankles. We're halfway through what we were looking to accomplish today. So we're going to be moving up to our thoracic spine. Again, for those in rotational sports, golf, baseball, anything stick and ball, really, this is super important. Thoracic mobility is a big portion of power production. If we aren't able to hit those ranges, we might not be able to exert force in the way we want, or we might have compensatory behaviors come into play and really want to take over. They might want to rear their ugly heads, if you will. So moving into thoracic rotation, okay? We're going to be placing one hand on the floor. We're going to be doing some nice light rib rolls, okay? This is something, again, shouldn't be too intense. For anyone who's in rotational sports, you're going to know this feeling, okay? I'm going to start by placing one hand into the floor, okay? It's a nice straight arm. I'm in a nice child's pose here, nice and flat. If you need to, this can be done in a seated position, okay? If you need that, you can always do this from a chair or in any seated position, okay? It's just easier when we're down on the floor. If you have trouble sitting onto your heels like this, you can bolster yourself up with some pillows or a foam roller. You can always do that. Okay, so I'm going to place my hand into the floor. I'm going to take my hand here, I'm going to reach through, I'm going to grab underneath. If I showed you from this side, I'd grab underneath my shoulder blade, grabbing my rib cage. I'm going to take a deep breath in as I do so. Inhale, I'm going to turn in towards that planted arm. As I breathe out, I'm turning my chin towards my shoulder, and I'm pulling my rib cage through. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to do 5 good ones here. Now, staying in that same position. I know I picked my hand up. I just gotta look at you lovely people out there. We're gonna keep that hand in place. We're gonna take the back of our hand, we're gonna place it on the top of the floor. Okay, we're gonna be doing the inverse of what we just did. So if we were pulling through before, we're now punching through and threading the needle. I'm gonna take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to punch my hand through, watching my hand travel through the loop. Coming right back through. Now, again, we're going to do the exact same thing, both of those on the other side. So I'm going to plant my hand into the floor. I'm going to reach through, grab underneath my shoulder blade or my rib cage. Deep breath in. I'm going to turn in towards that hand. As I breathe out, pulling and rotating through. Again, the only thing moving is my spine. I'm not bending my arm, my hips aren't shifting. I'm accepting the range. I'm giving, and I'm using a strong breath to maintain tension. Now, I want to show you one version of the mobility we just did, that if you are out and on the course, or if you have shoes on, or if you just don't want to get down onto the floor, you can do it in this way. We're going to stand up nice and tall. We're going to get our feet just about double shoulder width apart, and you can see my toes are pointed forward. Now, I can either use my foam roller or blocks to do this, but I'm going to place my hands on the floor. So again, if this is tough, we can bolster ourselves up. I will do the same thing. I'm going to grab my rib cage, pull through, look up towards the sky. That nice wide stance still gives us a place to cradle our hips, and we still get an opportunity to work on good thoracic rotation. So again, anyone on the course, if you're feeling tight in that rotation, get yourself a nice wide stance, get some good breaths, and work through those rib rolls. Really try and initiate that. Moving on, last thing we're going to do here is we're going to hit our shoulders, okay? We're going to focus on some nice controlled rotations here, okay? We're just going to be focusing on range of motion and controlling every inch of that range of motion, okay? So we're going to get into a half kneeling position here. You can see I'm in two 90-degree angles, my back toes curled into the floor. I have a nice locked in position, much like our 90-90 stretch. So as I'm here, I'm going to be controlling this shoulder. The only thing that's going to be moving is this shoulder. We again want to watch out for wiggling around and popping our chest out to create those ranges, but we want to stay nice and locked in. I'm going to poke my thumb out so you can see the range and the way I'm rotating here, but you want to make a nice strong fist. So I'm going to punch my feet down into the floor, my core is tight, I am here. I'm going to take a deep breath in as I do so. I'm going to lift my hand up towards the ceiling. As I breathe out, I'm going to turn my palm away. Pulling on through back to center. Okay? Now again, if you have trouble, if it doesn't want to go all the way there, just control what you can control. Focus on the range as you can. We don't want to draw a big circle. We want to draw the circle that we can control. Okay? So again, here, locked in. Deep breath in. If you'd like to, you can always do this up against a wall as well. We're just going to do 5 total here. Feeling it in my thumb, I gotta make that fist again. And we're just going to go to the other side. So again, locking in, two 90-degree angles, pushing down into the floor. My core is tight, like that soup bowl. You can see my shirt here. I have a nice flat line here. Try to wear some contrasting colors. Deep breath in. Rotate. 1. 2. Again, keep everything still. 3. Again, when we get to the top, inhale, we punch up, we turn our palm out. 4. 5. Now, those are some basic mobilities you can go through as you are out on the field of play, or just if you have 5 to 10 minutes before you get started and you need a nice quick warm-up, go through those mobilities. It will drastically improve your performance and allow you to really take advantage of those lovely mobile joints we have. thank you for your time today. Please follow me on Instagram if you have any questions at JimBroHuge. Please reach out. You can find me here at Ethos Athletics as well. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Stay happy, stay healthy.